like Oregon could be actually a bit of a safe haven. Kind of looking at their qualifiers and how they got here, this was a map that was very influential. They won their 7-0 against Won't Stop Peaking, which is not a bad team either from the South Asian region. So clearly a map where they're going to feel quite comfortable. Kind of looking towards that upper bracket though, it did suggest Hasib Warriors was kind of the team out of that region that, of course, probably might be regarded as the 1 seed, if you will. A chance, though, for Knock Knock, but it won't be in the first half. With Elevate on the defense first, I'm fully expecting them to put and set a really, really high lead in this game in the first half. So the onus will be on them and an opportunity maybe for Knock Knock to steal an attacking round here or there.
Yeah, Knock Knock need to establish themselves a safety net for that switch of halves. So looking at, obviously, it goes without saying, a minimum 1 round, but ideally 2. Attacking into Oregon should be possible. Certainly not impossible at the moment, but yeah, we'll see how they go. In terms of bans, Thatcher and the Grim. Grim's a bit of an intriguing one. It does leave the Ying up, which often is banned out in general, but especially here on Oregon, because there's a lot of different strongholds where if you can get the upper hand with a Candela Flash, it can often unlock a critical part of the push for the attack. So we'll see if that's something that Knock Knock lean into. Defensively, it is the Solace and the Fenrir, so 2 very powerful defensive operators dealt with. And it does mean that the Valkyrie and the Azami will make it through.
What's your expectations, though, for this, I guess, stage, actually, really? I mean, we don't have to very overcomplicate one game, but for the stage, the fact that we're getting more games from these teams from South Asia, you've also got now Daystar from Hong Kong, who actually looked pretty good in their match, albeit obviously falling short. More opportunities to play against these Southeast Asian teams who have clearly, with time, gotten to a pretty good level. You would hope, therefore, that for Hasib Warriors and for Knock Knock, they can actually improve quite dramatically as the stage progresses.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I still think that heading into it, day 0/day 1 at the moment, I'm finding it difficult to pitch the South Asian teams, the 2 that are in the league, making it into the top 6. I could see a world in which it's stacked with the SEA teams top 6, and then unfortunately South Asia does miss out on the bracket. I think that's a very real possibility, but it's going to come down to, as you've sort of alluded to, their ability to improve throughout the stage. I've got to say, though, they're going to have to improve quite rapidly compared to 2023, because we've already seen the likes of Jalita, Daystar. They are looking pretty solid. So the onus now on Knock Knock, on Hasib Warriors, to fly the flag for South Asia and prove that they deserve a spot in that bracket.
We'll see if they'll be able to do that. Good opportunity. Good test as well in this opening game. Oregon, maybe a bit of a comfort pick as well. Elevate on the defense, though. Already aggressive-looking lineup when it comes to the Oryx, the Capcan, Legion to some degree as well. As we've got entry in from Sandy. Top floor, push in through Trophy, clearing out Kid Storms. Safe, smart, so far from Knock Knock, as Jittery over towards Big Tower. And Haikal is also lurking in that Big Tower position. I'm expecting Elevate to really, at least out of these 2 teams, be the one to, at times, go for that aggressive punch in rounds. Hold these aggressive angles. You can see Speakeasy, top freeze the stairs. They're not really kind of just sitting on site. Elevate definitely will aim to find an opening kill or 2.
So the Ying is in play round 1, and like I was mentioning a little bit during the ban phase, a lot of the sites and the way in which they are typically played, the Ying is so powerful in dislodging one of the defensive positions, which then has the ripple effect of weakening the rest of the defense. So it's really important here that Rattler gets himself in a position where he can utilize those Candelas, and then either himself and or the rest of the team in sync need to then play around that accordingly to help unlock the crossfires that this basement site does deliver. So for Knock Knock, it's about getting the shock drones in play initially, dealing with mirror windows if possible. That's the first job, outside of the obvious hard breach, which I think they've done an okay job in at the moment. Then followed up by the Capitao and the Ying in combination for that execute. They have plenty of time to prepare themselves and gain a little bit of information if needed, and we'll see them probably go for this hit in the next 20-30 seconds.
Candela is expended. Still that pillar position. He's very much under lock and key for Elevate because of Van Haikal, as the drone coming down from Sandy now tries to push him out of that position. Flashes as well. Drop down into E-Box, double drop. In fact, big stack here from Knock Knock, and now actually all pushing pillar along with that blue push too. No real contest. Eventually the swing from NA Obviously, he has lost his life. Jittery good there, but a Capcan EDD is able to get at least one back up close with Bailiff. Not bad from RP, and suddenly Elevator got themselves the lead once again. Swing from E-Box is good, though, from Jittery. He finds 2 in the round. The cross, though, very strong here for Elevate. Over towards that bomb chassis position for Speakeasy to shed in towards Freezer. They don't panic. Nitro Cell's great from NC. The follow-up as well from Speakeasy, and suddenly, Jittery finds himself on an island, and Elevate too strong on the defense.
Yeah, the initial laying of the util there for the attack was not too bad, and you could see that unlocked positions like E-Box, Pillar, and they're able to work around that, secondary hard breach on the wall, all that groundwork pretty good, and Knock Knock doing a good job in that phase of the round, but then they lack that follow-up utility, whether it be Capital Bolts or Yin Candelas deep in towards site, and it meant that the Nitro Cells were then in play. No one on the attack had the ability or the read to go deep with the Freezer and the close closet angle being held. It had that crossfire effect, goes without saying. So it's a good work there for both teams, but ultimately Elevate just a little bit more disciplined. They're able to peel back that defense to the back line, and without the tools to deal with that or any additional pinch with a back push from Knock Knock, that was going to be a very, very difficult attack to make work. But again, positive signs for both teams round 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can probably argue Elevate looked pretty strong all the way through there, considering the positions they still held on site were very much strong. Knock Knock kind of went for a pretty basic E-Box drop. To be fair, though, it was somewhat successful, at least on the initial drop, the initial swing as well defensively. From Elevate wasn't really strong enough from N-High-Cal. That's going to be a very difficult name to pronounce. I'm going to have to probably just call him N-High. I'm sorry, but that's just what he's getting, because
Wait,
it is a...
Who are you saying hi to?
You're a troll. Into the second round we go. Kid Storms here up above top floor, as basement has been won successfully by Elevate. And so for Knock Knock now over to Kid Storms. Don't change up too much. They do bring the IQ. Still Sandy on the buck. The Nitro Cells available. 3, in fact, for Elevate.
Oh. Whoa. Wait, what? Was that a grenade from Envy? Where did that actually come from? I was supposed to double window. I guess he's got the lineup ready to go, and the fuse time actually optimal and getting that down. So RP now low for the remainder of the round. Nitro Cell, of course, a critical piece of utility later on. And so important that he stays alive, and a good start for Knock Knock in that regard. We do see the defense, though, respond with Games Wall now reinforced off. And so that adds another layer for the attack to break down. They do have Ace, though, so dedicated hard breach. Summers can deal with that quite promptly. IQ also in play. So back to the Valkyrie discussion. There is that direct counter in play for the attack. I think this is a really good lineup.
90 seconds remaining in the round. RP very low in health due to that earlier frag grenade. Pete trying to open up this game's wall with the Selmas. And suddenly rotate through Classroom. Main entrance push here from Knock Knock, getting themselves a bit of that first floor control. MC over towards security though. Nitro Cell thrown over to the balcony is well short of the mark. At least a little bit more emphasis on the vertical nature of this particular site from Knock Knock going down below, pushing now through Z. And High able to get the Nitro Cell kill though onto Envy. And so Elevate will find the opening kill of this round. MC has not made a sound in security, and that's a lovely little jiggle peek. MC also did get the win over towards security. Sandy won, but unfortunately the numbers for Elevate are far too strong now for beating a 1 versus 4. 40 seconds remaining in the round now. Push through Trophy, trying to just bait out some swings from these players. And High Cal too good with the SMG-11. Strong holds over towards Attic, over towards security. Denied any kind of games push. Across the board, Elevate, we're far too good on the defense.
Yeah, that pit position as well, providing a lot of value there to the defense. Knock Knock presenting far too many unfavorable 1v1s. And unlike the previous round where they got a little bit of a foothold for then the second phase of the push, you can sort of see around this point they're draining man count, double stack pit still from the defense, being uncontested really by that attack. So again, good work from Elevate. Unfortunately, the positive side's probably lacking a little bit more in that second round for Knock Knock. But we'll see how they go on the tertiary side. This is going to be the most critical objective in this match, especially for Knock Knock, because they need that wall of safety They need that moat around them heading into the second half, and their best bet is winning this objective. At least once, if not twice. So we'll see how Elevate go in dismissing that threat. They'll be eyeing off the 3-0 to start.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, I agree very much when it comes to Oregon. Tertiary sites just so prominent for the attacking team, needs to be won. If they're not, then yeah, I mean, it's going to be a difficult ask. You imagine Elevate, if they're able to go, you know, kind of around the world once again. It's going to make life very difficult. Little spawn peak potential here from Shed. This is what Elevate is certainly capable of. These aggressive plays in your face make your life absolutely miserable. And pretty much no real surprise with the way that they're playing this. It's up to Knock though to be prepared, to be ready. Drone game is good initially, getting some information as much as possible. And very much understanding that N-Hike is sitting over towards the classroom. Logic Bomb rings out from Envy. They go for the swing. Well, Jittery is going to win it out. N-Hike will fall. That's a good clear of classroom. Good utility of the drones along with the gadget of the Logic Bomb from Envy. And that's one down.
Yeah, it's a really well-timed pinch there from the attack. They get essentially a free kill to kick things off, and they might be able to steamroll it. Arpe falls, bot white stairs. Be just able to survive. No calls left. The damage already done here. Elevate now isolated on this first floor. We may see an attempt to retake this position, but with dedicated flank watch in the gridlock in play, that makes it a little bit more challenging and will absorb impact grenades from the defense. So good work here from Knock Knock, but it's this phase of the round, once they do the hard yards early, where they have faltered in the past. So we'll see what the execute is like. Speak easy with a very clean shot, though, to make things intriguing.
And Envy's low. No more Logic Bombs. And how much of that was a factor as well for them getting an opening kill. Can't play off of it now. Sandy getting low on that skeleton key as well. Little shoulder peek from Speakeasy. Does at least find some information. In towards meeting. Goes for a re-peek now. From Breach. The timing on that smoke, though. Impeccable. Basically saves that life. Sandy, though, with a very desperate entry. And Speakeasy was still in a prime position. And is very much still in a good position to have an impact in this round, but they both survive. He doesn't get any downs. Jittery, though, towards Z. Now, impacts as well for Knock Knock. And Envy as well. Down to only Speakeasy, and they should know exactly where he's going to be coming from. Makes a big run. They are all quite low on health. Spots one, but then in towards security. Envy with a long angle. And on the board, Knock Knock found a round win.
Yeah, with that execute coming through and the smokes going down, I would assume that Speakeasy is calling out that the plant is likely to be going down in that instance. And there was flank potential through Z, retake potential as well through Kitchen. Yet, again, maybe it's because our focus was so focused on Speakeasy himself that it was difficult to understand what the other defenders were doing, but it felt like he was the only one really in a position to pressure that attack. And it was pretty easy when it wasn't synced up later on with 1v1s being sent at the attack in the post for Knock Knock to clean that up nicely. So, first signs really throughout this match of Elevate making some fundamental flaws, but it's the tertiary site far more forgivable. They can return to form on the primaries, maybe then tidy it up for round 6. Again, a single round probably won't be enough here for Knock Knock, so it's an intriguing point of the game. And if Knock Knock can tidy up the late round here on basement, it could again make it even more interesting as we head into this.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to need to find a way to get one of these primary sites, maybe even both, if you're going to be able to take down Elevate. Tertiary site's one thing, but you give them the credit where it's due. I think the way in which they won it was honestly pretty decent. Especially when you consider the start of that round, the way in which they were able to drone out, util out, a couple of players in classroom, and then eventually pushed in. Jittery with the entry in towards Big Tout. This is going to be the real big testing, though. How can they
I'm
take
reloading.
laundry and supply on Oregon against a team like Elevate? Lots of time to go for the roam here. Not really anyone from Elevate inviting all that much pressure up above this time around. Stark contrast to the previous round in which they were very much looking to deny a lot of the entry positions. Freezer stairs, back stairs holds, everyone else on site. So very much shaping up for an Elevate bunker on site. Not engaging in any kind of contest up above. You can see the way that Beat is playing. Top floor clear as well for Knock Knock. It is that perceived pressure. The notion in which Elevate like to play aggressive. And so very much Knock Knock still have to do the due diligence. Clear out, take their time. Envy though, well, he might skip a step or two. Default shot out as eventually it starts to be used, and Envy now has Freezer stairs. This is not too bad with 90 seconds left in the round, but they're going to have to do a little bit better and faster elsewhere.
Yeah, you can see the cogs turning there a little bit for Envy. He was maybe thinking about sneaking past the default camera, but that will not work out. Mav in play. So a little bit more of a dated way of opening up this hatch, but it does alleviate you from having to play impact amps. And the Thatcher is banned out, of course, so the Mavic almost required. Unless you're able to navigate that twitch through to deal with the electro claws, and that has not been the case this time around. Minute to go. And the drones will now come through, so information gathered here for Knock Knock. A lot of it is going to come down to execution, timing, landing your ones, playing around the Candelas, and the bolts from the Capital. So we'll see how they layer this util.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Slightly different approach this time, I think. Maybe a bit more front-centric through lobby. Last time it was a very much back-focused Pillar Blue. That said, though, Rattler will rotate, so he might be the X-Factor this time around. And Jittery also goes outside bunker as well.
Yeah, the E-box drop was their primary method of entry. I had nothing from Laundry or Freezer side. Rattle with Candelas. That was the final one, by the way. Still 30 seconds left and not playing off of said Candelas. Sandy up in flames at the moment as B is pretty much dead. Double kill, though, goes away. Knock Knock. Eventually, the trades come through, but Knock Knock will retake the lead in this round until eventually, and Heikel. And lovely play from Shed as well, off of that Keeper Barrow. Bit of a one-way there in through Freezer. Rattler was getting the plant down, eventually pushed off it. And into Red type needs to basically find the kills, and he cannot. As soon as Shed was able to win that battle in Freezer, that changed the entire course of the round. And Elevate will take basement again.
Yeah, I think that round probably ultimately ended up a little bit more closely fought and contested than I initially expected. We saw the Candelas being expended in towards Pillar, and a lot of that was to try and facilitate the push through bunker to then help the pinch connect from the front push lobby. And said player outside bunker was getting stalled out by those smoke babes. Eventually, the pinch did come through. But whilst that all happened and Jittery was caught in the rotation, the reason he's alive last is because he's out of sync then with the rest of the push. And in a 1 versus 2 with that time left, he's never winning that, especially without utilities. So again, elevates supremacy on the primary sides. We'll see if they back that up once more here and go 4 from 4. And then it will set the stage for a pretty pressure-inducing final round of the half and knock-knock.
So far been some good signs from Knock Knock. Good moments in these rounds.
10 seconds left.
Unfortunately, good moments though don't get you wins, and Elevate's the kind of team that can probably go to another level if absolutely required.
Attackers
But at the very least, for Knock Knock, these have not been super one-sided rounds. I mean, the round wins for Elevate so far have actually been, you know, a bit scrappy. Knock Knock are very much forcing them to play hard. Get another opportunity on Kids' Dorms before a more potential opportunity awaits over towards the Tertiary of Kitchen and Meeting. Heikel over towards Armory. A bit more of that aggression here from Elevate. Just starts to sink back in after cooling off on it in that previous round. Large pressure towards Big Tower. Jittery on the rappel. Just outside. And MC all the way at the top. And spots a little angle there onto Jittery. Takes one shot. Then on the other side, though, Sandy out in the exterior finds the kill onto MC. And somewhat similar to that classroom clear out earlier in this half, they've done it again here towards Big Tower. It's the second time that Knock Knock has been able to coordinate as a team really nicely to clear out a player.
Yeah, the over-aggression from Elevate now, a couple of rounds comes back to bite them. Can they, though, rely on the late round proficiency to win out this round? Or perhaps a response to the mid round? It's end high this time to find a pick. And that is the hard breach, or one of said hard breaches dealt with. So a bit of pressure now on Envy, but still 2 summons in pocket, so games won't really show too much of a threat. There is a summer gate though, and that means that U2 will need to be sunk into that particular doorway. Otherwise, one summer will all but be available. Speakeasy looks to double down on that position, just provided a little bit of additional support and pressure. As we can see, Diffuser is on the balcony. So that's likely going to prompt a rotation here from Knock Knock eventually. Wall now reinforced off. Elevate happy to peel back and forth at that position for now. They sense that time is beginning to drain, and they will force Knock Knock into the util game and the hard breach game.
Still a couple of Roteros available for
Bomb
Jittery.
located by attackers.
But he's in a position already inadequate. He's got a good line of sight in towards kids. What a shot from Shed though. Game sense and awareness in which he peeks that angle and he gets the headshot kill. 5-1 now for Shed. And suddenly with 30 seconds left in the round for Knock Knock, this is looking extremely difficult. Sandy will backfill in towards Attic. Take the position of Jittery. Rattler starts moving forward. No real options here. One though presented by Speakeasy after he got the kill onto Envy. 13 seconds left and an up close, and Heikel gets through to Sandy and Rattler in a 1 versus 3 with really no time. Despite even still having the kit, you can't really give him much of a chance here. And Elevate are going to make this a 4-1 lead here on Oregon to begin.
Well, a fist bump from Shed, understandably so. He confirms that round for Elevate. 4 primary site attempts and 4 victories for the defense. So Elevate putting themselves in the box position to set up a 5-1 lead at the conclusion of the half. They do though need to win the tertiary side, and there were some concerning signs for them on this particular objective last time. It is once again Meeting Hall Kitchen. Knock Knock went for a push-through split after an initial isolation of Roma through Classroom. Elevate failed to respond accordingly and pretty much fed ones in the post. So we'll see how they adjust this time around. Perhaps a greater emphasis towards that body position early on to stall it out. Looking back at the last round though, round number 5, you noted that the ability of Knock Knock to actually put those Romas on islands has been really, really strong. Unfortunately, when it comes to trading out picks and finding ground very easy to the ground, where that communication and innate synergy really shines or flounders for teams in Siege, they just don't quite have that X factor going for them.
10 seconds to go.
No, and that's probably going to be where, as the stage progresses, they can continue
5
to
seconds left.
develop better ways in probably hitting sight directly. But so far, in terms of that
Attackers must
step
locate and
1
defuse the
approach
bomb.
in team coordination and synergy to clear out particular roamers and players, yeah, they're actually done a really good job. I give them the praise for that. They get themselves another opportunity on the tertiary site as well, and if they win this, 2-4 is a pretty decent margin against the team in which they're playing. And they then get to go onto the defense themselves. Of course, playing from a deficit, they'd still have an opportunity, though, to get themselves back into the game over the overall scoreboard. But Speakeasy gets aggressive. We saw this from Elevate opening 3 rounds. They've played the same in the next 3 rounds. Tertiary site round 3, super aggressive, deny entry positions. They've done it again here, and this time Speakeasy gets the kill onto Rattler. So Elevate are very much playing this kind of scripted gameplay in terms of how they want to approach these sites. This time, though, they get the benefit. Last time out, they got cleared out.
Jammer activated!
Biggie auto breacher through the window then, just sound cover potentially. Drew might be able to cook up a solo play with a flash through said window, but that's probably not ideal. Unless he's getting assistance from somewhere else, big tower. And that may be the case. Osa is in play in that position, so Talon shields. Hard breach up. Ape is in a position himself to bandit trick that wall up above, leading into Attic. Mujammer hasn't been dealt with. Eventually is. A minute 30 on the clock, and things not looking ideal here for Knock Knock. Elevate just need to keep disciplined, which they're doing at the moment. And just not give away anything for free. We'll see if this wall gets opened up. No, Mujammer impacting EMP though in response. No easy way for Elevate to now deny that. Of course, a Speakeasy back to the sandbags position, and again, groundwork done here from Knock Knock. We'll see how they go about actually pushing and prodding into the site.
4 nitro cells available for Elevate. Very much makes it far more difficult for Knock Knock, even with Oster Talon shield. Here's one of them from Speakeasy. Goes with that nice hit early, but again, 3 more that can eventually come through. Addict control as well, by the way, still there for Elevate. And so therefore, this makes it extraordinarily difficult now for Knock Knock to really get this plan down.
Oh no.
As soon as you enter in, you are just going to fall, meet your demise. And Hykel up above, they've also got the Bandit there to make sure they can't actually open up that attic wall. Despite the fact that meeting has been breached, it doesn't really mean that you can just get the site. Envy does find a kill onto Hykel though. The 2-per has been dealt with. Jittery taking his time. Eventually flashes go out. Jittery now makes a big abundance of noise to push in towards kitchen. Breaks that window. Man's by himself.
Oh.
Let's get a nice little one-tap headshot onto Shed, but hasn't got kit, hasn't got time. It will be 5-1 to Elevator. Speakeasy pops up. Gets himself a nice little free kill with SMG-11. And overall, a very successful defensive half for Elevate. They get 5 rounds from this. Puts them in a pretty good position where all they have to now do is basically win the tertiaries.
Yeah, it's pretty much job done. Really good work there in the previous round. I like the layering of the potential bandit trick there, although it never really came into fruition. Unfortunately, Knock Knock probably tried to shortcut that site a little bit too much by just opening down below, and then Jittery, who was honestly at that point in time the only way they get back into the round. He didn't have a big U to take down the barricade. Hadn't punched the mirror window at that point into Maskin's position, and ultimately baits his team and doesn't actually seem to push. Just makes it a little bit challenging for the 2 stuck that breach to really get much done. So, again, late round, Knock Knock falls short. A lot of positives to take away in terms of their ability to get map control and take down roamers for the most part. That was actually quite strong. Plenty to review in terms of their composite positioning late rounds. So we'll see if that improves over the course of this particular stage, but it was, at least in my eyes, one of the concerns I had for them and probably the Civ Warriors as well, is just that late round proficiency. So we'll track that as the stage goes by. Still a long, long way to go. I'm focusing in now on the second half, as mentioned. Elevate, very strong position. Primary sides aren't must win, but honestly, I think in a match that should be pretty one-sided, they'll be backing themselves in to do a good job to close this out in something like a 7-1, 7-2 fashion.
It's very easy as well on Laundry and Supply to kind of go into your shells. I'm kind of hoping Knock Knock won't do that. So far, positioning says they won't. Easy entry though from Hykel over towards Shower. One spotted towards top white stairs. Well, Sandy just gets caught completely off guard. Probably not anticipating that he'd already be pot white. Rattler in towards security. Had no knowledge of this.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Obviously, made noise. I'm almost certain of it. Hykel is very much aware that there is one inside of security. So Rattler now kind of just in a bit of an island position. If he goes for the cross, he may very well die. He does make a bit of noise, then makes the cross. He actually got the kill onto Ape. So talk about win-win scenario for Rattler. Gets out of that position in security and finds a kill.
Yeah, good Nitro Cell anticipating the pinch there up above with the logic bomb meant that his position was revealed and he anticipated the said pinch to come through, but responds well and critically gets out of that position instead of holding it. It means now that Knock Knock can fortify 4 players down in basement. Still a decent position to find themselves in. Again, though, nature of basement, though, means if there's only 4 defenders up, there is inherently a weakness in at least one of those points of entry. So this is, we'll see where we get to, this will test Elevate rather, and we'll see if they're able to find that weakness, exploit it. They've got plenty of time, hatch being worked. They have the next 30 seconds or so to drone forward, get info. They have plenty of drones still available for, plus any shock drones remaining. So we'll see what the push is like. Speakeasy is the one with the diffuser in hand, and they will center themselves around that pillar and E-box drop.
Under a minute remaining now for Elevate to move forward. Been a bit of a struggle for Ape, unfortunately. 1 and 6. The rest of the team, though, has been performing up to par. A bit of drone information. Only 4 remaining for Elevate as Shed goes for the rotate over towards Blue. 1 spotted elbow. C gets a kill onto Rattler. Elevate have got themselves an advantage, and 1 player known on the defense in terms of his position. Double drop E-box. 1 over towards the killer. They win this battle. Ormish ended up shooting his teammate coming down backstairs. Nitro Cell available. 4B puts it away. Brings it back out. He's the last one alive now on the defense. Still no kills on a donut. It will remain that way as Elevator far too strong on the attack in towards the basement of Oregon. Across all angles, they had everything covered. Unfortunately for Knock Knock, they just got overwhelmed. Tactical timeout has been called by Envy, but they are in a deep hole. 5 match points now for Elevate.
And you can see it's quite a stark contrast in the late round between the two teams there, where I think in that position, we probably would have seen Knock Knock flounder. Elevate, they dedicate that double hatch drop, yet each player is sort of in sync as to what they're watching, either side of the pillar, making sure that player can't escape, that's synced with the back push down the stairs. There's also then the late pinch coming through Freezer, and that's why Beat was so afraid of the pinch as well late. Like, they had all their bases covered and made it very, very challenging for Knock Knock to prevent the drop. They also couldn't really play far back because of the pressure being applied from multiple angles. So just really, really good clean stuff there from Elevate. The expectation was that it's likely what we'll see, but for them to pull it off was quite nice. Again, there was that very small moment there where I thought there could be a TK potential, but again, they're too good for that.
Yeah, they've been too good inside of the server as well. There's been little minor elements where Knock Knock have been given praise in this match, but overwhelmingly, it's just been too easy for Elevate across the board.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
Saying
by
that,
attackers.
these are the opportunities. Group stage, day one, a new campaign, lots still to be played, lots of other teams still to play. Good opportunity to learn from this kind of game, where you can improve, how you can improve. And even just being inside of the server with these Southeast Asian teams on a regular basis outside of a one-off playoff event, in which previously you might have only played one best of 3 guys, and then you were done, or 2, and that's it. And so you've got far more of an established base, at least now within this league, that you can, with time, continue to find avenues of improvement. That has to be the mentality of the team, that they are not a finished product, and that they've got a lot to learn.
To locate a bomb and defuse it.
Clearly from this game, a lot to learn indeed. Down 6-1, tactical timeout. What have they communicated? We go to kids' dorms. A beautiful sunset.
It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm pretty sure the sun set a long time ago, Jakey, but I'll take your word. Oh, you meant. Jittery though, big tower. One of the things we praised Knock Knock on in terms of their attack was their ability to isolate roams like this. So we'll see if Jittery is able to hold down the line. Hasn't really got much in the way of support in manpower nor utility. So this is very much a Hail Mary play and a Hail Mary situation. And said player is off the board. That was not the best of executions, unfortunately. At least not from the defense. Elevate doing a good job to set themselves up for the 7-1 dub.
You know what's interesting, the way in which Elevate kind of approached that, is they did it very quickly. I see a lot of teams sometimes that try and clear that big tower defender really slowly. They poke and prod, they give them too much respect. Elevate just like, yeah, he's there. We'll swing double window and well, the 2 windows and just flush him out. They did it so quickly that Jittery just didn't even have really time to process the best way to defend his position. Overwhelmed. Rattler dies elsewhere, by the way. I mean, this game is essentially over. With 90 seconds left, Elevate with a 2-player advantage. It's going to take something quite critical for Knock Knock to salvage this round. And I'm not sure if a closet hold with an inward-facing mirror window is going to do the job. Sandy towards pit. Okay. Still a very good position here with that mirror window. That's something that can be far more impactful. And Haikal close by. But you can already see from this POV that Sandy is just under an immense amount of pressure. With the window push, with the hallway push. And Haikal does actually find a kill onto Envy towards closet. That hold clearly wasn't going to be good enough. Love the swing though from Sandy. Gets rid of MC. Needs to probably take this fight now. Gets himself into position to deny the next swing. If he wins it, it's suddenly a 2-on-3 with a little bit of time for Elevate. Never mind. Ape loses. Well, Ape just kills everyone. Ape gets rid of Sandy. Beat. Game's over. 7-1. Beat down. Stark reality for South Asia is very much that this is not going to be an easy league. And the Asia League is still firmly going to be dominated by those of Southeast Asia.
Yeah, good debut for this rejuvenated Elevate roster. They didn't have to show all too much, but the execution for the most part was clean. The only blemish was on that tertiary site. Outside of that, phenomenal work. Players like Shed, Macy, both having really, really good games to kick things off as well. So positive signs for Elevate. And again, breathes life into that top 6 discussion. I'm still very much of the mindset, especially after watching that South Asia, probably 7-8 for now. However, every other team in the mix really has a lot going for them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's never fun to see these kind of beatdowns, but I also genuinely believe there was, and I can't believe I'm still trying to, pluck some kind of devil's advocacy here, some okay moments from Knock Knock. That kind of says to me that if they can improve on that, if they can find ways to especially improve on their weaknesses, that they can have themselves an opportunity to avoid bottom 2. That has to probably be the goal. Avoid bottom 2. Yourself, Hasib Warriors, and I guess Daystar, all 3 of those, that's going to be the goal for those teams. It's a long, long journey, though, in this group stage. Lots of learning opportunities, and they learn a lot from this match. 7-1 in this game. To Elevate, far too strong. A great debut for the new roster. We'll go to a break. When we come back, of course, those on the desk will break this down. We still have, of course, one more match to come later on.